Good afternoon. My name is Janet Justice, and I work in the Education and Events Department here at FTD. I want to welcome you to our webinar titled Prepare for a Stress-Free Holiday. Today, you will learn how to be more prepared and organized to handle the holidays. FTD Education Consultant Deborah Flor will be leading this informative webinar. Joining the floral industry more than 30 years ago, Deborah and her husband Gus own De La Flor Gardens, a successful retail floral, gift, and full-service garden center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She has been involved in floral education for many years, presenting innovative seminars around the U.S., Canada, and internationally. Deborah is also the author of the floral design book, Florsages, The Art of Floral Body Design, as well as numerous creative features in various industry publications. Once Deborah is finished with her presentation, we will open the webinar up for questions. If you have a question, simply type it in the question box on the upper right side of your screen. We will take the questions in the order they are received. Please feel free to submit your questions during the presentation as well, and we will hold them until the Q&A portion of the webinar at the end. So without further ado, I would like to turn the call over to Deborah to begin the webinar. Deborah?
Hey there, how are you, Janet? I'm excited to be here today for this. This is what I love. I absolutely adore the holidays. Gosh, yeah, I remember years ago, it was 30 years ago when I started, my first holiday was a little more stressful, and I was like, well, that won't be happening again. So I just developed some ways to have every single thing ready to go, and just organization is the key, and I can't stress that enough. So we're going to get started. So we pretty much get started with our holidays maybe 2 months before, so 6 to 8 weeks. And the easiest way to do that for any of your data is to look up your sales data from your previous years. The great thing is if you've got that Mercury system, your FTD Mercury system, it's all right at your fingertips. If you don't have that already, you can pull up any hard copy so you can go through your data. But this will help you find the number of orders you had that you will need to create, and then always allow for maybe hopefully a 20% increase, your average order amount, the classification of the orders. You'll want to know how many were roses, how many are mixed arrangements, were there vases or baskets, how many plants or blooming plants did you sell, how much plush you're going to need to purchase. If you do your gift baskets and gourmet baskets, how many chocolates, balloons, etc., that type of thing. You're going to need to know what this is. Now, if you've never taken notes before, this is the perfect time to start. It's just a crucial thing to get these notes down. It's going to help you with the next year, and you'll be really happy you did. So I hope you're ready for these stress-free holidays, because I'm ready and I love them. So we're going to feel really confident about these holidays with all these little ideas. Remember that I'm just sharing with you what works for me at De La Flor. It's maybe not going to be the best for you, but I hope these tips and ideas are really going to help you. But the key thing is to remember organization is the main thing that's going to help our holidays, with everything. So go with your notes. And your notes can be as simple as saying maybe, okay, last year we had 150 orders we made that were in vases from this price range. Maybe we needed to make 200 of those. We had 300 basket arrangements at this price, but we needed 100 of them to be the $75 range. So these notes are really going to help you. It's pretty critical to making the holiday a success. And we're going to go right into making our stores pretty. This is what I love to do, getting started with all the decorative part, which is what all the designer in us really loves. So you're going to do your shop displays 4 weeks before on a regular holiday, but Christmas is always the exception. With Christmas, you want to get started much earlier. Everyone does it a little different. Again, our shop, we start in October, and then we always start in the front of the store, but we're really going to go with that window display. Remember that if you're in a shopping center where people are walking by, you can do a little more smaller items in the window for them to look through. Years ago, I had a window that we had a backdrop on, and then I decided to take the backdrop out because we had more foot traffic and we were a little far away from the street, and the customers then could see right through to the store, and it seems like I sold more items that way. So there's a little tip if you got a lot of walk-in traffic. Now, for those of you that are on maybe a street corner and the cars go by, you only have like 2 seconds to catch the viewer's eye. So make sure you use bright colors or maybe do some animation, but most of all, be creative and have fun, and then it's all going to be good. When you're all into it, involve your entire staff in this, and it makes it so much fun for everyone. And we're going to, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So rich and delicious. We're going to make beautiful interior scapes for our store. You're going to decorate your shop's interior. Again, that same 4 weeks. Again, Christmas is a different animal. We always start with that early. And you're going to start with the entrance. You're going to make a grand statement right at the entrance that's very lush and beautiful, some bright colors that get the customers feeling that warm welcome right when they walk in the door. Then you're going to kind of move those vignettes throughout your store. Maybe you'll do color blocking, or maybe you have a theme or stories with different looks. You can always look for current trends, maybe what's going on now. Is it snowman? Is there a trend towards more elegance? Maybe it's traditionals with your plaids in red and green. You know, do you want to do whimsical with maybe candy or contemporary? There's so many things to think about, but look for those trends and see what are your customers purchasing now in the way of colors, even for their fresh arrangements. So that'll give you an idea of what to do for your decor in your store. Also, remember that during the holidays, you have more traffic than any other time, and this is key, more new customers. So now's the time to turn on your charm. You need to greet them like you're inviting them into your home. At Flor, we always offer them either a bottled water if it's during a warmer time of the year. If it's at Christmas, we love to do that hot cider, and then we'll always have some little cookies. And every day at the shop, we do coffee in the morning. Even if we're not even drinking it, and heavens knows Deborah Flor, as fast as she is, doesn't need a lot of coffee in the morning. But we have coffee for the customers. It creates a nice atmosphere. We have the little cups, a little sign says fresh coffee with all the little goodies. And they walk around, they'll stroll around the store and the garden center with their little refreshment. And it's really something that it goes a long way. You know, all these little touches are things they'll talk about their friends. Oh my gosh, you go in there and they give you a little snack or a little water, and they're so wonderful. So this is just something that's really important to just turn on that charm, give a great greeting, and remember, people they're creatures of habit. You know, people love to be treated well, and if you treat them great, they're never going to go anywhere else. It's going to be, oh my gosh, you know, your shop all the way. So that is really critical to get them in. Now, you know, we did our windows, we did the inside, but then somehow we forget to do the outside. We forget about the exterior of our shop. So I don't know, everyone has different stores. Some have, maybe you've got an area where you can do landscaping. So maybe you need to brush up on that, put some plants in that go with that time of year, do some fresh mulch. Maybe you have some gorgeous planters or window boxes that you can, you know, you always need to keep those up. Remember, we have the ammunition. We are florists. We have all the beautiful decorating items. We have plants. We have flowers. So we have the ability, more than most industries, right at our fingertips to make this happen. Maybe you have a pretty flower card outside and decorate it for that holiday with that theme on it. And, you know, bring it in at night and sit it out during the daytime. It makes it just so, so pretty for the holidays. Maybe you need to paint your building. Maybe it's about time, or maybe you're in an area where, unfortunately, you get graffiti. Make sure you've got that 5-gallon bucket of paint so you can just paint right over it. Maybe they'll get tired of messing it up if you keep painting it all the time. I have a cool question for you. What's the difference between a shack and a cottage? Anybody? Geraniums. Yeah, it's the flowers. Imagine when you see that pretty house with a picket fence and beautiful little flowers outside. What do you think? You think, oh my gosh, there must be caring people inside. That's the same thing the customers think about your store. As, oh my gosh, how beautiful. You have to create the need for them to want to come inside. And if you think about it, you know, if it's really appealing looking, the customers are going to want to come inside. They're going to say, oh my gosh, I had to come in here because of the beauty and how gorgeous it looks. So don't forget that. Geraniums, so those flowers are really what are going to do it, and keeping it pretty. Once you get them in, and you've done your job. Now we're going to move to your marketing. This is something, again, that this is what Flor does, and you'll have to work it to the needs of your store. Whether your shop is large or small, any of these ideas can be implemented. We're going to create the recipes for your store specials. Now we're going to do it on paper first, get our idea. Okay, what is it that we want to do for in-store specials for this holiday? What containers do we want to choose? Is it Mother's Day? Do we want a pretty little purse, kind of a keepsake container? What type of flowers do we want to use? You know, all that type of thing. What kind of foliages do we want to have in the arrangement? And at this time, you're going to make your sample arrangements, and you're going to photograph them for your email marketing, any of your print ads. And then you're going to go ahead and get them printed at this time, whether it be postcards, which are always really important. So work on the layout and get them printed, you know, right away. Now, the good thing is, if you're promoting FTD specials, those photographs are already done for you, and they're available through FTD for you to use in all your marketing. So that's done. If you prefer to do both, which we do, the FTD and your own in-store specials, I love doing our own in-store specials because I always go against traditional. I choose non-traditional colors for my holidays. Say, example, if maybe FTD specials have lavender, pink, and white, I'll go with yellows, oranges, and maybe hot pink or a deep purple. So I go kind of against that, and this is great because you can probably get better buying this way. That's what we do at Flor. Also, advice to create designs that are easy to reproduce, and this I mean less stem insertions. So maybe you have a container, maybe a glass container like a 6x6 cylinder or some cute pottery, and you'll do like an example of one hydrangea, maybe a lily, 3 roses or 3 spray roses, and some filler, and maybe you'll design that in a grouping. It's going to make it a lot faster to reproduce the designs, and then with speed, of course, you'll be able to do more work and get more accomplished during this time. We're real excited with all that we get in the flowers, and this is when all the staff gets in on it, and maybe you can even name the bouquets certain names and let everybody kind of judge it, and then you go through a little, okay, we're going to choose who did the best name, maybe give a little prize in the shop, but always include your staff in all these ideas. They love it. They want to know they're part of the team, so it's really important to do that. Now we're going to do our pre-ordering. With our pre-ordering, we're going to pre-book our fresh flowers and our foliage. This sometimes gets a little complicated. At my shop, I pre-book a certain amount of items, things that I know I have to have, certain color roses or lilies or something, and I put a certain amount of those to all the wholesalers out and see who I can get the freshest product and great prices with. And then we kind of play the market, but with that, it's only because I'm very fortunate. I am in Fort Lauderdale, which is 30 minutes from the Miami airport, and we can go down a lot to get flowers on a daily basis. But what I mean by playing the market a little bit is right during the holidays, say your week starts Monday, come Wednesday, they've already shipped a lot out, and some of the prices start to drop, or they're always aware that we want to know what did they get that maybe they couldn't move that we can have for a good price. So maybe you can work with your wholesaler to see if there's some special that midweek, they're willing to give you at a good price. So we always kind of do that. And you're going to make sure you've got a checklist of every single thing that you need for every arrangement, and have a couple people go over that list in case you're forgetting something. And that's all your hard goods, any of your containers at all, floral foam, maybe if you need glue because you glue the foam in, any of your tape, ribbons, your balloons, your plush, chocolates, any of the items that you're going to use in creating your gourmet baskets or gift baskets, even the cellophane, whether it's decorative or clear, just every little thing. If you needed cardettes, make yourself a checklist and use that, and it's going to really benefit you so you don't say, oh my God, halfway through, oh my gosh, we ran out of this. So have someone make that checklist for you and make sure you stick to it. Again, you're going to do this no matter if your business is large or small. It's going to fit for anyone's holiday, and it'll be a great thing and really stress-free, and that's what this is all about, just having fun during the holidays. We always have a good time. I love the fact that you feel like you have like a common goal with your whole staff to get the job done, and we actually really love the holidays. I look forward to them. I always say I wish there was one every month. People think I'm kind of nuts, but I'm like, bring them on, that pays the bills, so it's quite exciting for us at Flor. Now we're going to move on to staff scheduling. And this is something we do 3 weeks before the holidays. With this, it's always handwritten notes that I've taken the year before, and we're going to consult those notes. And again, if you haven't taken notes, now's the time to start. Say you had 2 salespeople in the front, but you needed 3. And maybe you want one of them to be the greeter. Look at other businesses that do that. We even carry the arrangements out to the customers' cars because the supermarkets do that. So I was like, my goodness, why aren't we doing that? So here, let me carry that out for you. And out you go. And they're like, oh my gosh, those little things go a long way. And again, it's all about customer service this day and age. So you're going to look at that. Say you write a note that says, for Valentine's Day, I had 9 drivers, and that was perfect. Or I had 9, but I needed 12. So write the notes that way so you understand, okay, this is what I had, this is what I really could have used. And those are going to really save you a lot of time and aggravation. you're going to determine all those needs, schedule your employees, and make sure you call them. Don't take for granted that those 4 guys that worked at UPS last year are going to be there for you because maybe they've moved on or done something else. So call them all 3 weeks ahead of time, and then I do it again a week before, and I kind of keep tabs on them and make sure, sometimes they're people that just have little side jobs and maybe they'll get a little scatterbrained, so you always got to jog their memory again. So we're going to take care of that way. And if you've never taken the notes, remember, do it now, and you will be thrilled that you did, trust me. We hire an extra person just for our cooler. When I first did this, maybe it was about 8 years ago, and this really helped us because it freed up that extra designer or designer's assistant to not have to do that. And oh my gosh, it was just a glorious thing. The cooler was always clean because we know how messy our stores can get. The designer's work area, we don't even have time to sweep the floor. So this person kept us clean. Rotate your flowers. Make sure they're proper flowers and water. Again, with this person needs to know how to cut the flowers properly, and the person that usually does that in your shop can train and work with this person. But that having that other person there to organize was a glorious thing. Buckets dumped, and again, you all are sitting there, I'm sure, saying, "Oh, I know all about that." So, you don't have to pay a lot for that. And it's like midweek we get this person in. I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 days before the holiday. They don't need to be there 3 weeks before and all that like everyone else. So, and also with designers, you have your designers, but if you get that main designer an assistant, someone maybe you don't have to pay as much, and they can do the running or get this and that for them or finish it up. Okay, here this is, do that with it, add that special item that they wanted that was extra, put 2 more roses in that one that's already done. That type of thing, that assistant is really, really a wonderful thing to have. See the cute little Della Flor? That's a part of our staff. That's a few of our salespeople and our Santa. So we love the holidays, especially. See all the palm trees behind us? We don't get any snow, so we're thrilled just seeing a Santa Claus. Now we're going to start with our production. Don't get too excited. This is just the hard goods. We're going to start with some of that production 3 weeks before the holiday. You see the little teddy bear sitting there wrapped. I don't like it when you put your teddy bear and then the driver knocks the vase over and the teddy bear's little hind end's all wet and soaky, and then he's no good, and so you have those issues, and you don't want them to get dirty when they're all stacked in the cooler. So we always pre-wrap any of our plush. We put either clear wrap, or if there's a decorative, say it's Valentine's Day and we have little hearts on it, and then we use sheer ribbon for a reason. If the sheer ribbon gets wet, it's not ruined. It dries and no one knows the difference. We did satin for years and then it kept getting messed up and droopy, so we changed. So sheer number 9 ribbon is a great little tool for that. And then we'll do different colors, like 10 teddy bears with a pink ribbon, 10 with red, 10 or 15 with purple, with blue, so that way if it's for male or female, or it also matches the floral design you've created. So we do different color ribbons on those, and they're already pre-done. We also do our chocolates the same way. We pre-wrap the boxes of chocolates with a ribbon, and then it's really easy to tie those onto vase arrangement or the handle of a basket, or even insert them down in the box. See the cute that little brown box next to the teddy bear? That's the FTD Snuggies box. We purchased those from FTD. Actually, we have those in the shop every day. And then we take our little tissue, double fold it, and put it in, and we have our shop little logo on there. And those are just stacked. We have one wall. We stack all those. They're ready to go. So it's a good thing you've got your plush, your chocolates wrapped. You've got your carry-out boxes for the customers ready to go. I know it sounds silly, but remember, all these little things take time. And imagine if they're already done. You just grab them and tag, grab them and tag. Customer comes in for a vase. You put it in the box. Out they go. And then you can just handle other orders. You can tag other orders because you have the time. So this is a crucial thing to get done, and you can start this way ahead of time. We just pretty much do 3 weeks for kind of a busy shop, so but any of you that can get that done well in advance, go right ahead. They're hard goods, and it's a perfect time to get it done when there aren't a lot of things happening. Remember, organization is the key to the stress-free holiday. Okay, still with your production. Ooh, this is fun because now we get to create something. We're not just working with our hard goods and getting ready, we're actually creating something. We all love to do that. This is your gourmet or your gift baskets, and this is fun. It also gets your staff in the mood for the holidays because, ooh, and they're just showing each other, look what I made. But you've already got your recipes done. You know what you're selling. We usually do 3 price ranges, 3 price points, just like we do for our designs with these, so that it's got the lower end, the mid, and the higher end items in both gift baskets and gourmet. Make sure they're all priced and that you're pricing them properly. You don't want to lose on those items, and you know how they add up. And just make them all pretty, and your staff is excited, and you're excited because the shop is really looking like something's going on. You've got all your decorations in, your window, your outdoors, and now you're actually getting to create some of the things you're going to be selling. Remember how important it is to keep your staff motivated. I always run around the shop, good job, team, good job, team. Maybe if they're working a little slow and I want them to go faster, I tell them they're doing a good job, and then they know I'm paying attention, and they pick up the pace a little bit. Just that reinforcement is something that we all need. And if they're happy, you're happy, and vice versa. So it's really important to keep everybody motivated and let them know they're doing a good job. People want to know they're working hard and doing a good job for you. And, well, we're in this together and love the holidays and want to keep motivated. So this is when we get to have fun, getting to actually create something. Okay, print marketing. Okay, so you already got your beautiful little postcards or your little fold-outs already done for the holidays. So you've already got those printed and ready to go, and now you're going to mail them out. We used to have a marketer help us with all these different things, and now we can do it ourselves with all the FTD software. And we mail out different things for this. The 2 weeks is really for if you're hosting something like maybe an open house. Easter, we had a nice Easter egg hunt, and it was a great event. Or you're doing a holiday open house for Christmas, design program. Maybe you're going to have the people over for wine and cheese or something in an evening. So this is the time to send that out. It's really, really important, though. We made a mistake many years ago. We forgot to put the RSVP. So put an RSVP and tell them that it's really important, that they call back and let you know. This way, you know how many people to plan for your lobster and filet mignon you're going to serve. Wouldn't that be nice? So it's all fun. You get that printed. We actually put postcards on our orders that go out every day that just talk a little about our shop. They have a picture of the store, and people recognize it on the front, and a picture of me holding a bouquet, and it has a $5 little gift certificate on the back. So those go on every order that Flor sends out on a daily basis. We also do birthday and anniversary reminders, thanks to the FTD software as well, and remind the customers that they have, something coming up. Ooh, okay, now we're going to start playing with some of our product. This is basically the foliage and foaming, but we're going to do our container preparation. This is 2 weeks before the holiday, and we're going to add the floral foam to our containers and pre-soak it. I can't stress enough how I take care and handling so seriously, and so does everyone at the store. The foam really needs to be soaked thoroughly. So if you've got a container with a liner, we have a really big sink in one of the areas. We just fill it up, and then we soak them in there for a few days before we're doing anything. And this is really crucial for the longevity of your product. And that's why the people call you, oh, that arrangement lasted for 4 weeks, when you know darn well they should have tossed it at 2 or 3. But that's why you're good, and you get the customers back, because you're doing that proper care and handling and purchasing fresh product and taking good care of it. Now when you fill your vases, you're going to fill them with water. Go ahead and add that flower food to the water, so it's already in there. You don't have to worry, because I don't know if you all have done your experiments on no flower food or flower food, and it adds another 7 or more days onto the life of the flower, so it's really important. For those of you that really are not up on care and handling or aren't sure about it, you can go right online to the FTD University, and you'll be able to see the care and handling webinar that was done there. And it's just really, really important. Before you learn how to make the first design, you really need to know how to take care of the product. At our shop, we have something called a dosatron, and it's a little device that pumps. It's like a little gas pump you have, and you can pump the exact amount of flower food through the water, and it's really a great thing, so I recommend that. But it's a good thing. And here's where you also can get a little creative with maybe some of your longer lasting items. Maybe you have curly willow or birch branches or birdies or butterflies, or maybe you have a holiday pick. You can go ahead and put those in the arrangement now and get it done. Remember, every time you have to place something in, it's time consuming, so anything you can get done in advance is going to help you later. We're going to go ahead also at our shop, we take sheer ribbon. Again, I talked about the sheer because it doesn't get messy. And we kind of knot it around the neck of the vases in different colors, something to match the vase or go with the color combinations we're using for that certain recipe, and have those already tied onto the vase too, and that's something that's already done. So that's a good thing to do as well. Okay, now we're doing some more marketing. Now this is a week before. Now again, this is what Flor does. Doesn't mean it's what you have to do, but we had many years ago, we had a telemarketing person come in and do this for us, and we learned from her. And she explained how 2 weeks before any holiday, the customers think, oh, I have plenty of time, and they don't really want to, well, I'll call you back later, and maybe you're not going to get that sale. So if you do it a week before, they're like, oh, okay, and pretty much will take you up on the order. If you do it 2 days before, you're, oh, I don't know, I already did it, yesterday or something. So 1 week before is the best time to do your telemarketing, which is your calling. Now remember, you're not cold calling, you're calling your existing customers. So that's really important. Now the fun thing about this is I do have the FTD Mercury software, and all the information is right in front of you. So you're just like, so they think, oh my God, they just think you're so smart. And of course it's your computer system, but you don't tell them that. They just think you're just the greatest thing on the planet because you've got it all. Now if you don't happen to have the FTD Mercury, maybe it's time you should think about getting it, or you can go ahead and pull those hard copies from the invoices you had the year before and look them up and call the customers that way. All right, now here's the little tip. You need to tell them when you're calling exactly who you are and that you are their florist so they don't hang up on you. So you have to say something like, hello, I'm Deborah from Flor. I'm your florist, and last year you sent flowers to Betty Smith for Thanksgiving. Would you like us to repeat that order for you this year? And usually they're like all shocked, oh my God. So even if they called you the year before and they didn't remember who they called, they know they sent flowers to Betty Smith, and how would you know that if you weren't their florist? So that kind of gets you in immediately, and they're already listening. And then you say that we're calling our preferred customers. So I'd remember these things, and then they know that they're really important to you. And this is the perfect time to get those upgrades. And then you can say, last year you spent $50. Would you like to upgrade that? Maybe spend $65 this year? And usually they'll say yes, or they'll say, oh, no, keep it the same. And then you can also do add-ons. Maybe if it's for Thanksgiving and Betty lives by herself, maybe they want a little gourmet basket to go along with it. Maybe you can get them to purchase a little box of chocolates or a nice little plant. And remember, these items that you're adding on are already pre-made. They're already pre-wrapped because you took care of that. So these items are ready to go, and it's not any extra work because it's already done. So this is kind of a good thing. Now here's another crucial thing for this part. We always like to push those deliveries early. This is a great thing because then on the day of the holiday you can pretty much say yes to every single order you get in because you already have your preferred customer order done and they're not tying up the phones. And you just let them know, oh, we'd like to suggest an early delivery maybe 2 days before, especially for businesses. For example, if it's Valentine's Day, you always tell the guys, you want to be the hero, don't you? Let's get it to their business. Say Valentine's Day is on Saturday, but you can deliver it Wednesday or Thursday to the business. And then he's the hero because all the other women in the office are seeing that she got her flowers first. So then they usually go for that. We also make sure we put our postcards on those because then the other girls maybe can get the numbers and have someone call for them from their sweetheart. So it's really good. And most of our customers, our regular customers, say yes. They always let us go ahead a day or two before the holiday. It's not an issue. And now you know Christmas that's its own animal. You get to do the whole month or a couple of weeks before, so that's a great holiday. It just kind of goes throughout the whole month, so it's much easier on us. Let's see. I don't really like to do free things like saying, okay, if you order early, we'll give you a free balloon, and then we forget it. Or you're going to say we'll give you a chocolate. That takes away from those add-on sales you want to get. The best advice I can give you is just offer that great service. We're going to take really good care of you because you're our preferred customer. So that great service, I think, is worth, so much more to the customer. The last part of this, you've got your email marketing campaign, and you're going to send that out a week before, and those are always fun. My son always uses humor, so it's always kind of fun if you use some type of humor in your ads, and then it makes people read it, or they'll laugh, and whoever's sitting behind them at the office will say, hey, listen to this, look what this florist said. We were at a garden center one time, and there were a lot of ponds and fountains and pottery, and there were signs all over, and it said, unattended children will be given espresso and a free puppy. And we laughed and thought that was great. We do one, a big banner that goes out on our fence that's for Mother's Day, and it says, 28 hours in labor, you had better send her some flowers. So those things always catch customers' attention when you use humor in something. It's really a fun thing to do. So remember that in your email marketing campaign as well. Then we always do another one a couple of days before. Again, you can juggle this whichever way. If you get nervous 4 days before, oh, nothing's happening, we always do that. You can send 1 or 2 days before. You know, you don't want to aggravate the customers where they go, oh, it's them again, but you want to remind them your name and that you are there for them. So this is kind of a fun time as well, and when the orders start rolling in, you get excited. Now, don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged with the email marketing, the telemarketing. The customers will call back, leave messages. Sometimes we forget, and we just make sure you leave the message. They will call you back. All right, preparing for your fresh flowers. Isn't that pretty? Don't you love it when all the flowers come in? Oh, I love it so much when we get all those flowers in. You want to make sure that you get those buckets clean with disinfectant, and make sure you've received all the flowers that you need for that beginning of the week, and hydrate them. Now, we just open the boxes quickly and check the quality and make sure they're all, okay. Then we close them back and then start using whatever flowers we know take longer to open, and kind of go by that and judge it to start getting them to hydrate a little bit in water. Some flowers are going to go directly from the box into the vase, and this you'll kind of learn as you go along. Make sure you are thoroughly cleaning your incoming flowers. They all need their own little type of cleaning, but make sure that the foliage is not below the water level, because you want them to last a long time for you and for the customer once they get it. Again, this is where you're going to have that person that always cleans for you, have that assistant that they're going to learn how to do it too, because one person can't possibly usually do all of that. Sometimes certain flowers need different temperatures. Maybe you've got a front display cooler that's a little higher, maybe 50-something degrees, where you'd put your tropicals and your orchids, and just be careful how you take care of your flowers with there. And again, make sure you use the proper amount of food. Now you get to make your samples. Woohoo! This is fun, so you can get ready for your production. The samples 1 week before the holiday, you're going to create. We always do our FTD specials first, and we get those going. And if there's any delicate flowers, say maybe there's your flowers that last longer, maybe there's hydrangea, not hydrangea, maybe iris, and it's just 2 more of those. We'll add those a few days before when we get those in. And then you're going to begin the production. Once you've made a sample, I've got my FTD specials lined up for my staff, I've got my in-shop specials designed, and then we're going to have the staff start reproducing those. And you're going to look at your numbers from last year, so you're going to know approximately how many you're going to need. And I like to do it production style. That means you have one person that puts all the lilies in, and another person will put all the carnations. Next person puts filler, whatever it may be. And then they kind of work together as a team. They get excited, and they move a lot quicker than they would if one person is, just doing one design at a time. They kind of slack off a little bit. So I've learned through experience to have them do production style. And if you have the same person doing the same flower, they always look right. We also do our roses a little later in the week for the holiday. We put a clear sleeve over them. It's a big, like a plant sleeve that's clear for a dozen roses. Slide it right up over it when it's done. And this way, they don't get broken, because we really need to tuck those arrangements close together to make more room in the cooler. And also, when the driver is delivering them, they don't get broken, so you don't have any issues with broken roses. Hey, I only got 11, not 12. And then you're like, oh, we couldn't count that day or something. And there won't be any need for having to apologize. So you just get those large sleeves from your wholesaler well in advance, and that works really well. Now with our deliveries, we've got a fun little system we use at the shop. We're going to start our deliveries, again, hopefully days before, but whatever you can do with that. If you've really marketed properly with your regular customers, your preferred customers, you'll be able to get those deliveries out a couple days ahead of time. We color code the deliveries. You see the little where it says Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so whatever color you choose, you can go to the drugstore and purchase those little dots. And that way, when you're looking in the cooler at a glance and say it's Friday, but oh my gosh, it's 4:45. Oh my God, there's still 3 in there for Friday. What's up with those? And then at a glance, you can check, make sure that the driver has taken those tickets back to your router, and they're looking into it if it was bad address or something, or you couldn't get in the gate, that kind of thing. But that little coding thing should be done in the office before the orders come back to the designers, so that it's put on the order and you've got that. But that's something we've been doing for many years, and it's really a great thing. You'll be happy you did that little thing. 'Cause like I said, at a glance, you just look and you know what day it is. So that's kind of a fun thing. Okay, more deliveries. We have one person, one member of our staff that we make responsible for routing the drivers. This way they don't have to do it. Next guy out, here you go. Take this. So, and Bob, all of Bob's delivery sheets, their routing sheets, are in one area in a stack, and then Betty's are in another, and Jerome's in another. We have them all separate, and he knows who he sent where when questions come in. So that way he's able to answer those questions as well as keying them in the computer left at the door, and then they can look at a glance. Try to make sure as best you can that the drivers can get signatures on those, and when they return with those delivery tickets signed, we staple them onto their log sheet. That way if you have a question about it, you know that they didn't receive their flowers, yes they did, it was signed by so-and-so. But we do keep them all individual for each driver, and that helps us who went there. Oh, that was Bob, here's his stack. So it makes it a lot easier to do that as well. So okay, here we go. Let's see. Make sure we're all good there. Ooh, I'm at the end, and I was just getting on a roll. This was fun. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. Again, I love the holidays. We're getting ready to get our Christmas items down already at Flor and start going through them and see what else we may need that's at last minute to start decorating our shop. But I already got my cinnamon brooms. That gets me in the mood. Maybe if you get some cinnamon brooms, your staff will get excited to start getting ready for the holidays. I want to thank you all for being with me today, and I hope you're ready for the stress-free holidays. It's fun to feel that great sense of accomplishment when you get done. And we're going to go into our questions. We're going to open up for questions now. Remember, you can email me. You see my email address is right here on the screen, ddelaflor@aol.com. And you can just email me if you want to do it one-on-one. That's a great thing. And right now I'm going to turn it over to Janet.
Deborah, thank you so much for sharing a lot of great information with us today. And of course, we are now open for questions, as she said.
Okay.
If you have a question, simply type it in the question box on the upper right side of your screen. And we're going to take the questions in the order they received. We do have a first question from Jack. He was asking, how do you use Facebook for the holidays?
Ooh, that's a fun tool. Shame on me for forgetting that. Thank you, Jack. Facebook is great right now. I actually just had my son take a picture of me sitting here at this to show it on Facebook. You want your customers to know what you're doing as well as your friends in the industry. Same way, you can advertise on your Facebook, take pictures, what a great tool it is, of the specials you're having, the prices you're doing, and do it. You can even show in your store how your progress is coming along. Today at Jack's Flower Shop, we're creating our gift baskets or gourmet baskets for the holidays, so don't forget to come in and take pictures of them. God, I'm so glad you asked that question, but that is the best tool we've got right now for us, because everyone sees that instantly and they're asking, tell them to like you on Facebook, and you'll start getting hits. But yeah, go for it. Do the same advertising on Facebook that you would through your marketing, your email marketing. Great tool.
Great. We've got a question from Michelle. She's asking, how can you prepare 3 sizes of gourmet baskets? They have three wire services that all have different gourmet baskets that are different and different photos, and they don't seem to ever get any that look the same. So how would you handle that?
We kind of do our own. We do look in the books and see what they're looking like, and then we do our own because we purchase from different companies, and we have certain gourmet items that we love to carry and that our customers are used to. So I'll just do the same price points. At our shop, we don't even start lower than 45, and we go up from there, 75, 125, and we do the points. But again, you know your customers, so maybe they need to be lower, maybe they need to be higher. And we do look in the books to see what the wire services are selling and how they look, and try to be compatible. But I have never in all the years had any issues or complaints about any of that type of thing or what I'm sending out of my store.
All right. We've got another question that actually pretty much the same question. 2 people asked the question, so it's super important. How do you keep the water clean when you're preparing the arrangements 2 weeks out in advance? Do you switch it out, before sending it out?
I don't do any of that. Actually, I use Aqua Plus. It's the flower food that's from Syndicate Sales, And they even call it Aqua Plus. The difference is clear because it stays clear. It bubbles when you're putting it in, so you know it works. Just make sure that when you put your foliage in, that all the foliage is above, except for the stems. Any of the leaves on the foliage are above the water level, and the same thing with your flowers when you're inserting them. We add water. We have water pitchers that have the flower food from that dosatron, and we add, as they start to drink, we have somebody that goes in and makes sure they add water to all the arrangements, but we haven't had any issues with that. The leather leaf sometimes comes in and it's got all that little fern stuff all over it, and we wash it in the sink, wash all the stems off first to avoid that. But that sometimes is an issue, and you just have to make sure that you take that extra step to keep your stems clean and none of the foliage leaves under the water level, and just add your water that already has the flower food in it as the flowers drink.
Great, great. Barry wants to know if you have a good supplier for $10 retail chocolates.
Good supplier for retail chocolates. I'll have to, Barry, if you can send me an email with that question, I'll let you know who we're purchasing the chocolates from. My sister's actually doing all our gourmet baskets this year, and she's got all the items, and I don't know what they are, but she does. But if you drop me an email, I'll pop that right back to you.
Great. Just want to remind everybody that we are open for questions, so if you have a question, just type it in the question box and send it in to us, and then we'll be sure to ask Deborah. We do have another question from David. He was just asking about what's your busiest holiday in terms of sales volumes and orders.
Okay, well with that, our Valentine's Day and Mother's Day kind of run neck and neck. We have Mother's Day we get more orders, so there's a larger volume of orders, but on Valentine's Day there might be less orders, but the money is higher, so you've got like, instead of a lot of little $40 orders, maybe you have $75 and $150 orders, so monetarily they're about the same, but there is more volume for our shop during Mother's Day. And you know how to prepare. Again, if you haven't taken notes, start doing it, and it's going to be the greatest thing you ever did, and you're going to have a lot of great stress-free holidays in the future.
Great. Well, it looks like, we do have another question here. Darla wants to know, how do they view their order history by holiday on FTD Mercury?
Oh, it's the coolest thing. I don't have that in front of me. Actually, if she wants to send me that too, but it's so great when you pull up your customer and then they have their history, so you click on that and then you can go by month and see, okay, was it Valentine's Day, so that's February, and you'll look, first through whatever, and look up their order, and then you can click on it, and then you can view the ticket, and then when they say yes, you copy ticket, so you have, and you can tell them what was on the card message and everything. It's a glorious, glorious thing. But if you have the FTD Mercury software and you can email me with your phone number, I'll call you back and I can go over that over the phone with you how to do it. But it is the greatest thing. It just makes you a genius. You are the hero for your customer. Trust me.
All right. We have a question from Shaylee. She recently opened in July, so this is going to be her first holiday season coming up, and she's wondering if there's a trick for figuring out her fresh flower inventory since this is her first year and she doesn't have anything to look back on.
I know, it's so hard. It's so hard. What did I do 30 years ago with my first holiday to plan for that? I know what I did. I was making arrangements for other shops. I was so used to Speed. I came from a Miami store, and I was sending things back to them because I was still on Speed for my first holiday. Gosh, I don't even remember how I really kind of did that so far ago. I know I made a lot of notes that holiday. Again, I can get back with her on that when I search back in my memory bank. 30 years ago is a long time to look. I would just really get all your basics, a few boxes of each of your basics, whether it's carnations and then your chrysanthemums or your astros and your lilies and roses and color roses and red, and then be in contact with your wholesaler. They're always willing to sell more flowers and have things pre-greened as long as you've got stuff pre-done, and like we talked about, everything pre-done in moderation. I think you'll be really pleased. But I would like to talk to you personally, if you can email me with your phone number and I'll help you out.
All right, we've got another question from Casey. Do you call the recipient the day before and let them know that they have flowers coming for the holiday? He said
No.
They did this for Mother's Day this year, and the customers did appreciate letting them know.
Yes, we call them, but not the day before. Like that morning when they're getting flowers. Now there is one area where we are that's gated. We have to call the day before and say we have flower delivery for you tomorrow, and we'll need to know when you'll be home because we can't get in because you're gated. Yes, we do that. The other orders we call that day. We have that person that we hire that totally does all the routing, and this person makes the phone calls and says we're coming out with your order. But he'll do it an hour before for each route. That way it gives them time, because usually you're sending the driver right out the door, and then maybe they're taking a shower, and then they call and your driver left that arrangement in the cooler. So an hour before or more for each route, he'll start calling some of the orders that we know that are gated or might have a problem, or if it's so hot outside and flowers are in anybody else's instance, maybe there's snow and they can't leave it. So with that case, we would definitely be making phone calls.
All right. Penny wants to know if you increase your labor charge at holiday time.
We always mark up a little more. We absolutely do for a holiday. You know, people are charging more. I don't even make any excuses for my deliveries either. We charge $12.95 for delivery, in some areas $15.95, and no one ever questions it. It costs so much with everything we're doing this day and age, so we always add more for that. I absolutely do.
All right. Well, it looks like we're out of questions for today. You did a great job of answering everybody's questions. So,
okay. Again, if anybody else needs me, I'm here. There's my email address, and I'll be so happy to help you. This is what I love.
Great. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for attending today's webinar. And if you missed a portion of this webinar, or if you'd like to view it again, a replay will be available at FTD University Online later this week. The webinar materials are available at ftdi.com. Click on the FTD University logo on the right side of the home page, and then you can click through to the webinar series page. The next FTD webinar is scheduled for Tuesday, October 9th. FTD Education Consultant Jeff Corbin will be discussing techniques to assist you in maximizing your time investment in social media while gaining valuable exposure for your shop. Registration is already available at ftdi.com, so please be sure to register as soon as possible to reserve your spot. And also, please check out FTD's new Facebook page to celebrate, educate, and inform you, our member florists. Go to www.facebook.com/Mercury Network and like us, please. We will be sending you a survey to gather your feedback on today's webinar, so please complete this brief survey to help us improve future webinars and other education programs for you. Again, thanks, Deb, for sharing such great information on preparing for the holidays to eliminate the stress. This concludes FTD's webinar, Prepare for a Stress-Free Holiday. Thank you.